Hey, this is Lori. This hot topic gone cold is about the power of expectations at work. Did you know that brains and expectations have something in common? The common link is that everyone has a brain and everyone has expectations. And while the power of using your brain might be a possible next topic, the angle I want to pursue here is the power of using and sharing expectations. Let's look at a scenario.
Jill, I appreciate that you applied for the position. After careful consideration, we have decided to promote Paula.
May I ask what was considered in this decision?
We looked at the time to produce the deliverables. We also looked at the quality of the work produced.
Before we continue here, remember one thing: performance.
Paula used software that none of us had, although we did request something similar. That software provided an advantage of efficiency and capability. She paid for it on her own. I didn't realize we had to do that to succeed.
Me again. Now, you need to remember two things: performance and process.
Well, maybe you didn't have to do that, but we also saw some of the innovation that was employed in the work that was produced.
I would offer that some of the things Paula does are risky.
Jill, come on. You know that new ideas are encouraged as well as taking good risks.
Now, three things to remember: performance, process, and behavior.
And Jill, we need someone willing to stay late sometimes and travel. I thought about your situation with 2 young kids at home.
Well, first of all, that wasn't stated in the job description, but even if it were, I have a supportive partner, and there are ways to balance work and family. I have been here for 8 years, Paula only has been around for 2. That has to mean something.
Okay, so in total, we now have performance, process, behavior, and policy. These are all types of expectations that were not shared that should have been. This expectation gap was a problem when I first stepped onto the business scene 20-something years ago, and it is as much of a problem in today's business. Why is it so hard for us to get this right? Whether you are a leader or an individual contributor, it is in your best interest, and I would go as far as to say your responsibility, to share your expectations. When stated, expectations can be performance drivers. Expectations can define what to work towards, forming the foundation for actions and outlining what success looks like in different situations. Expectations can serve as growth enhancers, providing you or your team members with a roadmap for personal development, helping to set goals and strive for improvement. Finally, expectations are grounders. They help to answer questions such as, are we aligned? Or, am I being realistic? Speaking of grounding, let's bring the brain back in here for a second. Very few of us claim to be mind readers, so why do we ask others to read ours? The answer is that you don't. You aren't a mind reader, you are much more. So take the mind reading out of it. Regardless of your role, you need to think about your expectations in a minimum of 4 key areas. I'll call it your roadmap to success. I'll get to the execution part in a moment, but first, the 4 areas of focus. Number 1, results and performance. Specific outcomes, metrics, and goals that must be delivered. For example, sales targets or project completion. Number 2, process and action. The specific steps and actions expected to achieve results. For example, using a certain software or collaborating with specific teams. Number 3, cultural and behavioral. How people should act, treat others, and align with company values. For example, innovation, teamwork, and risk-taking. Finally, number 4, standard and policy. Universal rules and ethical guidelines for all employees. For example, attendance and ethics. And now the execution part. Who's driving? You all are. This is a shared responsibility. Leaders, here is your call to action. Do you have these standards and expectations documented? And if you do, does everyone know of them and understand them? If yes, don't assume, ask. Make the next team meeting about level setting and alignment. Have a collaborative discussion about these areas. Remember, as a leader, you remove roadblocks and noise. This is your opportunity to help the team achieve success. Leaders, I'll end with a final note. If you aren't doing this now, start. Or you'd better start looking for a team full of mind readers. I'll transition now to individual contributors. Individual contributors, your call to action is to ensure you ask for help in building your roadmap to success. Obtaining clarity is your responsibility. Clarity isn't confrontation, it's deepening the understanding. Ask questions like, when is this due? Or what guidelines or standards should I align with? If the roadmap needs refinement, bring forth solutions. And finally, for my HR folks and company decision makers, your call to action is to define your culture and ensure execution. Do your leaders have roadmaps for their team's success? Have individual contributors asked for clarity and provided solutions for hindrances? Provide support. Stand behind and with employees who request clarity and leaders who do provide it. That's going to do it for this edition of Hot Topics Gone Cold. There's more where this came from. Give me a like, your perspective and suggestions for future topics below. Thanks for watching.